me. What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie P all day. So I got a couple things in from Colleen and Mike McCrory, and I wanted to go over one of the blades they sent. Now I have the Condor Jungle Bowie, which is the bigger version. This is the Condor Tactical Jungle Bowie 2, I believe is what it's called. And I do have some of the specs down here. We are talking about a 1075 high carbon blade, hardwood handle, 6 3/4 inch blade with 11 7/16 overall, and it is an 1/8 inch thick. So it's got that machete steel. So they sent this in a package with a few things, and I've been waiting to get to this one. So today is the day. So now, of course, Condor makes amazing, and I mean amazing, leather sheaths. One of the best in the business as far as their leather. So definitely the sheath helps out, makes it completely worth it. So now you'll notice the color is a little different. It's not all black. It's almost rose colored. And that's because Mad Mike took most of the coating off, and I think it actually looks kind of cool. So you'll notice that the grip is a full size grip. This thing just is hand fitting. You can see the eye of the Condor, and then they have these little decorative lines. It's built basically like the original, but the original was just longer. It is pinned and glued on there and done really well. Now this is a used knife with a used edge, but we're going to take it outside and see if even for a shorter blade it can bang a little bit. What I can tell you is that this thing turns in the hand lightning fast, and there's 2 on eBay right now. So, and you'll find these things in like the $50 range, so it's actually not bad. It is not bad at all. This swedge is sharpened, not as sharp as the edge, but it is definitely sharpened, so we should have no problems penetrating. Let's take it outside. All right, for all my fellow knife reviewers, you might know how bad this sucks. I pressed pause to come outside, and then got over to the stump, did my entire review. I mean my entire review. I was out here for a good 10 minutes testing, never pressed record. So I got to this point where I was going to say, and just Donnie be all day until next knife. Yeah. So, so then I realized I got to do it all over again. What I can tell you is I just used this knife for 10 straight minutes, and it worked. So I'm going to give you the short one because I just did the whole thing. Push cut. It didn't push cut because it is a very used knife, but I sawed through in like seconds. So I'm not going to bother with some of that sharpness stuff. I did some 4-foot gravity bites, and they dug in really, really well. I wanted to test the strength. It was really, really strong. And I know I could say that and not show you, and you'd never believe me, but I'm just gonna have to show all over again. Now I did a chop on that, and again, it worked out perfect. I have no folding, rolling, edge damage, anything like that. It worked out well. Condor did a good job. The steel is really, really thin. It's machete style steel, but the heat treat is good. Is good for basically anything because they did a good job. The swedge is sharp. You can see I actually took a piece of wood and chopped it with just a swedge, and it chopped really good. Turn around to the edge, and I chopped, and it chopped really, really good. It's super, super light, making it almost awkward for some things because of how light it is, but as awkward as it was, it didn't matter because it flew through every test I threw at it. And I banged it against this really nice piece of sycamore, nice and hard, and it did really, really well chopping against this piece of wood that's nice and hard, and it did some absolute damage to that. One thing I didn't do was stab it through the tire, which it handled just now, no problem. It did fail the plastic net test, but the plastic netting makes a lot of knives fail, so can't feel bad. I had a piece of tree, so a pine limb that's down, and I had a dangling piece, and I was able to get through that, and I was able to get through the skin of one of the pieces without getting through, showing that it's still pretty sharp. So I was hitting like this, but because the knife is so light, I was having a hard time doing that. It just did it, which is nice. So what I did is I went to an angle, and just like that, I was able to cut right through. So it's still sharp enough to hit a piece that's just dangling with no support. And it's strong enough, or sharp enough to get through. So that was good. Let's see. So I was able to take the knife and get through the top bark without getting through the whole thing, showing it sharp, and able to, in one quick shave, get through that. As far as throwing, it's a really light blade, so this might be a little difficult. Let's see. But I mean, I am me. That's one thing I didn't do, was throw it. So now I'm glad that worked out. So can you throw it? Yeah. Is it really, really super light? Yeah. So throwing it could be a problem if that's something you wanted to use it for like a consistent thrower. Yeah. If you want to use it for like a camp knife, a thin, light camp knife, I think personally, after already have gone through all this, I think it would work. I think if you're on eBay and you find one and you want it, I think you can get away with something like this as a camp knife. It's going to make a really nice slicer, especially if you're able to find a new one. You'd find out pretty quick. Now, I actually had a nice hard piece of wood here that I just got done batoning. It was all knotted, this and that. Worked out great. That split pretty good. It worked out great and all went well. But let's see. Of course, I didn't have it recording, so got to do it all over again. Oh, this is a different piece of wood. I'm just destroying it. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness! It's just diving into the actual stump here, but we'll get a little bit in there. You can see right through knots. It's just going through. Actually, it's going through quite easily as well. So you can see that it actually works as a knife should. I'm going to be able to get curls and feathers and all that stuff on here. Keeping them on there was the problem I was having because I'm going too fast, but that's because this is my second trip at this knife in the last 10 minutes. So let's see, if I want curls, I can easily get curls. This thing is no problem doing all that. So for Colleen, my homegirl, and her husband Mike, this was a good send. This was a good send. The knife actually does its job for such a thin knife, and that's where a lot of people have their problems with these things, is they think because it's like machete steel. Man, I just went through this twice. Because it's machete steel, they wonder if they're going to bend, or if they're just not going to be strong enough, or if they're going to have problems cutting, and da-da-da-da-da. I can tell you straight up, very easily, these are not going to be a problem at all. They just work. They just work. You have knives like the Undertaker and different knives like the other one where you think, okay, maybe it's not perfect. The Condor, the Undertaker has like this straight handle and you think it's gonna be way too slippery, and this is hardwood, so you think it might be too slick. But then you have knives like the Atrox and the Plan A that are just amazing. And you have some high end and some middle end and some low end, where this one is probably in the middle. It's right there in the middle. I don't care how thin these scales are. This knife is good. It just happens to work. So yada, yada, yada. This is good. If you are actually looking for a lightweight camp knife, this isn't so bad, even with the sharpened swedge. And if you don't like a sharpened swedge on it, you can take off the edge. It's easy. Hit it on a grinder, take that part out. That might not be that bad. But I kind of like it the way it is. It's a working blade, just plain and simple. So this is the Condor Tactical Jungle Bowie 2, and it's not bad at all, man. I dig this. Colleen, Mike, thanks guys. This one is a little worker. I do appreciate it. I am Donnie B all day. Until next knife.